game is, in my opinion, going to be game of the year, maybe. We got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons. But, I mean, two of the best teams in the NFC. Last year's divisional round, I really wish would have been the conference championship game. But the Eagles have many of their star players out, like Alshon Jeffrey, Carson Wentz, Nigel Bradham, the linebacker. I can't even name who else is out because there's so many of them. Mac Hollins, another wide receiver, is out. There's a lot of Eagles players missing this game, and not many Falcons. There are some injuries to the Falcons, but not any huge big name starters. And it's still going to be an amazing game because the Eagles are absolutely stacked. They are so deep at every position. It doesn't matter. At quarterback, they got superstar quarterback Carson Wentz injured. Oh, they have the guy who should have won Super Bowl MVP, Nick Foles, as backup. So the Eagles are so deep, and both teams have just such good offenses and defenses. They're so well balanced that it's just going to be a tremendous game. It's going to be a close game, but tremendous. And I can't tell if it's going to be high scoring or if it's going to be a great defensive battle because both teams just have such good offenses with Matt Ryan, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, Julio Jones, who in my opinion is the best receiver in the NFL. And the Falcons have a really good offensive line, but the Eagles have an even better offensive line. They have Nick Foles, Corey Clement, LeGarrette Blount, I think, or did they get rid of him? Jay Ajayi, Alshon Jeffrey, but he's missing this game. They added Mike Wallace to the receiving core, Zach Ertz at tight end. So both teams are just so good, and the Eagles have a top 5 defense easily. Just going to be an insane game. But I'm going to pick the Eagles for this one because people have been sleeping on the Eagles so much. I was on the fence for quite a while before making this video. I was like, oh, who's going to win, Falcons or Eagles? I was really in between. But then right now, right before making this, I have to go with the Eagles. Nick Foles just has something with Philly. He just plays so well when he's in Philly. Just in an Eagles jersey in general, he can play good. And it helps that he's in Philadelphia. Home field advantage. Reigning Super Bowl champs. The crowd is going to be pumped. They have everything on their side. Sure, they have a lot of injuries, and that's going to hurt them. But I really don't see the Falcons winning this game. And since everybody else is going to be picking the Falcons, I got to be the underdog and pick the Eagles. This is going to be an intriguing game. As you know, Josh Allen, Nathan Peterman, and A.J. McCarron were all competing for the Bills' job until they ended up naming Nathan Peterman as a starter and trading away A.J. McCarron for a 5th-round pick to the Raiders, was it? I don't remember what team, but I do remember it was a 5th-rounder. A.J. McCarron was the clear starter. This is a joke. You trade your starting quarterback for a 5th-round draft pick, and then you start Nathan Peterman, who played horrible last year. He did improve, though. He did play really good in the preseason, I won't lie. Their offensive line is pretty bad. And the Ravens usually have a pretty decent defense. I don't think they've ever really had a horrible defense in the last however many years. I'm trying to think. But a very interesting game. I just cannot see the Bills winning this. After getting rid of Tyrod Taylor, Sammy Watkins. Well, they got rid of Sammy Watkins a while ago, but still. They have virtually nothing at the quarterback position or the offensive line. Their defense is getting a little older, a little thinner. Nothing really there anymore besides Jerry Hughes and a few other options. I just can't really see them winning with only Kelvin Benjamin, LaShawn McCoy on offense. I'm going to pick the Ravens and be safe here. One of the best NFL teams last season. Probably going to be again this year. A top 2 defense. They're going to smoke them. I'm going to choose the Jaguars easily in this matchup. But let's look at the bright side of this matchup. You're going to have Leonard Fournette in his second year, who was a great back in his rookie year, against another polarizing rookie this year in Saquon Barkley. 2 very good, very young running backs. Going to be a great duel. But I fear for Saquon Barkley because he's going to be playing the Jaguars defense. And the Giants don't have a too shabby defense themselves. But I'm going to choose the Jaguars in this one. Very good matchup, as the NFC South, in my opinion, is the best division in football. And the Buccaneers went from a horrible team to a bad team. They're not really bad, but there's just so much talent in the NFL right now. It's just hard for them to compete. And they did add a lot in the offseason and through the draft. So I am banking on them to become good, but they're still going to get 4th in the NFC South. But this is still going to be a good game. But I'm still going to have to take Drew Brees and the Saints, taking this home, Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas all the way. This was a very good game last year. Early in the season, I think it was week 2 or week 3. The Texans only lost by 3 points, I believe. And Deshaun Watson put on a show. Him and the Texans nearly beat the New England Patriots. And the Texans are going to be even better. J.J. Watt is coming off of injury. Whitney Mercilus is coming off of injury. They're getting 2 of their best defensive players back from injury last year. Deshaun Watson's coming back from being injured. They signed Tyrann Mathieu, one of the best defensive backs in the NFL. The Texans are going to be a very, very intriguing team, and the Patriots are the team to beat. Still very talented. The Belichick system, still impossible to beat. They're insanely good still, no matter who they plug in there. Still got crazy talent at every position. So, I don't know who to pick here. I feel like I'm going to get this one wrong, but I have to go with my instincts and take the Houston Texans. Hopefully they built up enough chemistry to beat the Patriots in Season 2 against them. In game, as the 49ers just signed Jimmy Garoppolo to a huge contract. He's an interesting quarterback, very young, very talented, but we don't really know what the future is going to give us with him, as he did come off of an amazing season, going 5-0 in the last 5 games for the 49ers, beating playoff teams even. Very impressive. His stats might not show it, but his ability to play will. He doesn't have the talent all around him quite yet, and their starting running back, Jerick McKinnon, is out for the season with an ACL tear. So, I'm going to have to take the Minnesota Vikings. Even if McKinnon was healthy, I would still take the Vikings as a top 2 defense. And virtually the second best NFC team last season, and they added a top quarterback in Kirk Cousins, so they became even better yet. This is going to be a weird game. The Titans are a good team, but they lose games to bad teams, and the Dolphins are a bad team. And the Dolphins usually win home games. It's hard to go in Miami and win those games. Weird weather and an even weirder field. Huge dirt spot because they share a field with their baseball team, the Marlins, I think. And it's just craziness to go in Miami. They are a bad team. They are a bad team. That was terrible grammar. I just sounded like a caveman. But this is a weird one. My instincts are saying pick the Titans. So that's what I have to do. I'm picking the Tennessee Titans. They are the better team. But I'm probably going to be wrong, and the Dolphins are going to pull up some weird upset win. But yeah, Tennessee Titans are going to win. Marcus Mariota is a way better quarterback than Tannehill. Dolphins don't have a good running back. They got rid of their best receiver in Jarvis Landry. Don't really have much of a defense because Ndamukong Suh left to the Rams. So yeah, I don't really see any bright spots on the Dolphins and how they can even get near the Titans. Weird game because both teams are bad but good. Because Andy Dalton, he's a decent quarterback, not horrible, but he's not Pro Bowl either. He's mediocre. Then you got Giovanni Bernard at running back. He's decent. He's almost good. You got Tyler Eifert, one of the best tight ends in the NFL, but he's always injured. You have A.J. Green, one of the best receivers in the NFL. You have their O-line is trash. Now that they got rid of a couple players, Kevin Zeitler and Andrew Whitworth. And let's see what else. Their defense. Carlos Dunlap, Vontaze Burfict. Can't really say much else about their defense. Then you got the Colts. Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton. That's about it. I'm not really sure who. I would like to say the Bengals would win this game, but Marvin Lewis is a pretty bad head coach. And Andrew Luck gets hurt quite often too, like Tyler Eifert. But just because Andy Dalton has more weapons, I think I'm going to go with... Oh, no. I'm going with the Colts on this one. Because they do have Malik Hooker. He's a pretty good safety. And I can't remember who else is on that Colts defense. Yeah, I'm going with the Colts in the Week 1 win. I don't think the Bengals can pull it off. I think they're going to get a late start. And I just don't see them making the playoffs this year. So, Colts are my pick. I don't really know what to think of this game. The Browns have been horrible. The worst team in the NFL over the past, I don't even know how many years, 8? I want to say, I don't know, they've been so historically bad. It is insane. In my opinion, I feel like they've been tanking, but in other people's opinion, they're just bad. But I think they've been just tanking, and Hugh Jackson is a good coach. Well, a decent one, not good, I should say. He's decent. Not a bad head coach, he's a decent one. And they added a whole bunch of talent, and in my opinion, they are ready to be a playoff team. If not next season, they might have to get the chemistry together and pull it off next season instead. But this year, they are looking like a playoff team. Carlos Hyde, they added at running back, added Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield at quarterback, Jarvis Landry and Josh Gordon at receiver, David Njoku at tight end, a really good offensive line. I really wish Joe Thomas wouldn't have retired. Then their offensive line would have been a hell of a lot better. Man, if Joe Thomas wouldn't have retired, you would be looking at the playoffs this year for sure. But, man, and then you look at the Steelers. They're a mess. Mike Tomlin cannot control his team. They won't sign Le'Veon Bell. They won't give him a big contract. He is sitting out. He's sitting out Week 1. I don't know if they're going to trade him or what is happening there. Messed up situation. Had to get rid of Martavis Bryant. He got released by the Raiders. So, I'm picking the Browns. They're going to upset the Steelers and prove everybody wrong and prove me right. I'm hoping. I'm picking the Browns in Week 1. Kansas City at LA. The Chargers have been an injury-riddled team throughout the past couple seasons. And this year, already injuries have started to happen with Jason Verrett, a really good corner. But they still have an amazing defense, a very good offense. They still have a pretty bad offensive line, though. But hopefully Phillip Rivers and Melvin Gordon can power through that. And the Chiefs, I don't know. Andy Reid is a good head coach, but struggles. He's inconsistent and bad when it comes to the playoffs. And in my opinion, they did a horrible job in the offseason. Horrible. They let Alex Smith go, a veteran who is not bad at all. He's actually pretty good. You let go the best cornerback in the NFL in Marcus Peters. They just had a horrible offseason. Derek Johnson retiring. I just can't see the Chiefs pulling off a playoff season, especially under Patrick Mahomes, who's in his second year. But this is really like a rookie year to him, finally starting. And just craziness. I cannot imagine the pressure he's under. He's under because everyone is expecting him to be better than Alex Smith. Everyone thinks he's so good. I haven't really seen much of him. Hopefully he proves me wrong. But I'm picking San Diego. I'm picking LA in this one. Chargers for the win. Seahawks, one of the worst offensive lines in football. No running game. I'm pretty sure that's going to change. They drafted a nice running back in the draft, but their offensive line is still bad. And the Broncos still have a really good defense. Chris Harris at cornerback. Von Miller, the best outside linebacker. What else can I say? This team is still good. Derek Wolfe. Shane Ray. I just can't see the Seahawks winning this. The Broncos defense is just going to eat up Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now, but he cannot carry this team on his back like he did last year. He just drained himself out of so much energy because of the amount of pressure he had on him and the way he carried his team. It was insane. And Cam Chancellor retiring, losing Richard Sherman, Michael Bennett. Their defense is going to take a gigantic hit. That's going to make them hurt. Earl Thomas, they might be losing. They won't give him a contract. He's been holding out so far. So yeah, this Seahawks team has been a huge mess. They signed Brandon Marshall, which I don't know why. They won't sign one of the best safeties, Earl Thomas, but they'll give Brandon Marshall a contract. That is just insane in my opinion. So yeah, I'm picking the Broncos to win this one. Coming back, Ezekiel Elliott coming back after being suspended, weird season, getting in trouble with the law. The Cowboys are still good. Even though they got rid of Des Bryant, they are still good. If they would have kept him, I feel like that would have helped their case of being a playoff team. They should have kept him. It's not my place to say. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Maybe he was messing up their chemistry. Maybe he was making them play worse. I'm not really sure on that whole part. Panthers lost their best offensive lineman, one of the best guards in the league, in Andrew Norwell. Lost running back. Their starting running back, Jonathan Stewart. I cannot see the Panthers doing good at all this year, especially the season Cam Newton had last year. Just was mediocre. I'm not going to say bad because it wasn't. It just wasn't. But it wasn't good either. It was mediocre. You can't knock him though. And I'm probably going to get hate on that because he was an MVP and went to the Super Bowl. But it was a mediocre season last year. What more can you say? I'm expecting Ezekiel Elliott to come back and just beast because he's an animal and a top running back in the league still. And he proved that last year by almost getting, or I think he did get 1,000 yards in half a season. I think he almost reached it. I don't think he quite did though. So yeah, Dak Prescott, still one of the most accurate passers, still one of the best offensive lines in football. I'm taking Dallas. Redskins just got Alex Smith at quarterback. They did lose Kirk Cousins, but they got a veteran in Alex Smith back. That is a great deal. A lot of young talent on that team. Samaj Perine, Jonathan Allen at D end, just so good. Ryan Kerrigan, a top outside linebacker or defensive end, and the Cardinals are really good too, with Chandler Jones, Larry Fitzgerald, Sam Bradford, Josh Rosen. I don't really know who to pick here because the Redskins did lose quite a bit of talent, but the Cardinals lost more. They lost Tyrann Mathieu, Tremont Williams, Justin Bethel. They lost so much depth at the cornerback position. If Alex Smith gets a hot streak and finds some of his guys, it's over. Like Jordan Reed. If him and Jordan Reed are hot and connecting, it's going to be over because what is Patrick Peterson going to do? He has no other help besides linebackers and such, but I don't know. I just hope the Cardinals are still good enough, but I'm going to choose the Redskins in this game. Second best game of week 1 in my opinion. And it's going to be a Sunday night game on top of it. Bears getting better. They added a bunch of talent through the draft and free agency. And they added Khalil Mack in the preseason through trade. One of the best defensive players. Insane how much better the Bears got. But the Bears weren't the only team to improve. The Packers also got better, drafting cornerbacks like Jari Alexander and Josh Jackson. They also signed veteran Tremont Williams back to their team, who's been a beast the past throughout his career has been amazing. And Aaron Rodgers coming off of injury, just phenomenal how they're going to play. They are going to be missing Aaron Jones, the running back, in week 1. They did trade Jordy Nelson, but they added tight ends Mercedes Lewis and Jimmy Graham. This is going to be a hyped up match, and I don't know how you cannot look at this and say it is not the second best matchup of week 1, because I still don't think it's going to be as good as the Eagles-Falcons game, but this Packers-Bears rivalry is the oldest NFL rivalry, and it's going to become, it was the best, but so many analysts and media nowadays have just blew this rivalry off and have gone over so much other ones like the Steelers and Ravens and just forgot all about the Packers and Bears. And this rivalry is going to be respected once again, and it's going to be talked about more often, and it's going to be considered the best once again, as both teams are going to be very good once again. And for my pick, I'm going to be picking Green Bay just because it's Aaron Rodgers. He does not lose to Chicago very often. When he did, that was to Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs. And this Bears team needs a little bit of time to play together. I feel like the other game, when it's in Chicago and later when they've all been playing together more, that's when the Bears will get the win. But here in week 1, I'm picking Green Bay. It's going to be another weird one. The Lions are really good, but the Jets are just weird. They let go of a really good quarterback in Josh McCown. He's been improving every single year. The older he gets, the better he gets, as last year he played like a top 10 quarterback. And for some reason they didn't sign him back. They're going to go with Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater's not bad at all, but if they start Sam Darnold, they're going to lose. He's very overrated in my opinion. Shouldn't have been picked number 3, but what are you going to do? That's Jets, Jets fashion. And Lions are very underrated. Matthew Stafford, top 10 quarterback in the league, arguably top 5. So many weapons surrounding him now. It's crazy. He's finally got a pretty good line. This is the best his offensive line has ever been. His defense is pretty good too with Darius Slay. DeAndre Levy, I'm pretty sure they still have. Maybe not. Or no, not DeAndre Levy. Tahir Whitehead. I'm pretty sure they kept him, right? Why am I asking a computer screen? So yeah. I'm going to have to pick the Lions in this one. I can't see the Jets winning. They don't have enough talent yet, but they're getting there. They are a young team, and in a couple of years, they're going to be pretty good. But yeah, Lions in week 1. This is going to be a great matchup. The third best game in week 1. The Rams have gotten so much better this offseason. You thought they were good last year. This year they got even better. Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, and Ndamukong Suh, all three of them added to the defense that was already good. I don't know about you, but you know NBA has super teams? Yeah. This is the NFL version of a super team. This is just crazy. This is the most stacked team in NFL history. This is going to cause some problems with salary, and they're all going to demand huge contracts. Maybe not. Maybe they're all going to come to agreements and be like, hey, let's win a Super Bowl because we earned our money already. You know, but who knows what goes through some of these players' heads. They might want big contracts, or they might be smart and come together and be like, hey, let's win a Super Bowl. But who knows? Jared Goff at the helm. He's a decent quarterback. Not as good as everyone says he is. He's very overrated in my opinion. They got Todd Gurley, a top 3 back in the NFL, if not the best. He's very good. Was an MVP candidate last year. I feel like he should have won it over Brady. But you know how that goes. Quarterbacks usually win the MVP award. And the Rams are just amazingly good. And let's talk about the Raiders. Pretty good offensive line. You know, they usually have a good one. Last year and the year since 2016, 2015, they've had a good offensive line. I don't know. Running back seems to be weak. Derek Carr hopefully can pull it together and play consistent this year. The defense needs to step it up. They did add Jordy Nelson at the cost of getting rid of Michael Crabtree. So I have to pick the Rams. I cannot see them losing to Oakland. So those are my predictions here in week 1. Tell me what you all think in the comments below. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, if you agree, if you don't. Tell me why you do or you don't. Leave a like, subscribe, share this video with friends, share my channel with friends. This is Dice Sports. I'm out.